Et salut à tous, c'est Fenrir, on est parti pour la suite des aventures sur Genshin. On est parti donc pour faire la quête intermède avant de continuer Fontaine. De base, c'est la quête qu'on aurait dû faire justement entre Sumeru et Fontaine. Mais le temps d'avancer le mode histoire de chaque personnage qui demandait, là c'était Kaedera Kazuya. Donc le temps de faire cette quête histoire, on avance un petit peu d'une heure en Fontaine.
From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're...
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still... This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started...
Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind... Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatara Suna's past. But
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep...
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at...
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatara Suna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, apart from the swordmaker,
That's right. Akaba's
Je
teacher...
dirais limite l'histoire de l'épée
Yes, my thought...
Stop shouting!
This part's
de l'épée de
important.
Kazuha
I
qu'il a
could just
récupérée,
so
l'épée
even back
démoniaque.
then, Tatara Suna was...
Wait, so there
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah,
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of... Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but...
the Kaidahara clan.
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't...
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a pup.
Puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your...
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected, and that's it.
Oh, and please read my essay. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think... Oh, how about...
You're allowed to just make stuff up?
Akaba, look. Besides, if...
good
Qu'est-ce
point.
qu'il raconte?
Okay,
Du coup, on
back
va
to the
retourner les
drawing.
Inazuma pour régler pour voir l'enquête.
All right, thank you. If you...
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to... Okay, then even if we did know something about... After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many...
Hmm?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked
On
like
a dit Scaramuccia, non? Oui, c'est Scaramuccia.
the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Est-ce que c'est le moment où on va avoir le switch entre Scaramuccia et Nomade? Parce que là, dans Sumeru, il y a plusieurs trucs. C'est que là, cette zone-là, j'ai toujours pas accès. Donc je sais pas si vous l'avez accès. Là, il me manque encore celui-là. Et je crois qu'il y a un world boss dans le dans Sumeru. J'ai fini Sumeru, en tout cas la quête Archon, mais j'ai toujours pas accès au World Boss. Donc pour ça, justement, je fais la genèse quand c'est jamais. Si la genèse permettait d'avoir accès à ça, ça serait pas mal. Parce que je crois que Neuvillette, il lui faut du Dendro, je crois. Non, c'est pas ça. Naïda.
Traveler, Paimon, Nahida! Bad news. Did he escape or...
Sure enough.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to... I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, it was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal. A deal? Huh. You sure you...
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick...
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try... As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal...
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how... Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear.
Yeah, obvious! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how...
All right, then I'll do what...
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you... Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. Yes. As I told you once before. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So... You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twins' details in the Descender category. This is an It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without... So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind... Exactly! I understand. But sometimes, everything is... How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. Our minds have connected several times. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility... If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. Paimon's still worried about this idea. I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the battle, even though he only has a fraction of his full power left. That's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Then prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport...
Nice.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company.
Shut your big...
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now...
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of unlike anywhere else. Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides.
Fine. Let's call it truce.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is...
You sure are
If there are no further objections, I suggest... Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh. The snark on this guy.
We can start now.
Irminsul access
Let's go.
granted.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the Ooh.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here, pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will...
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information.
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay.
Hey, what are you...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got... Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe...
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction.
On doit rester avec lui, donc on va voir. Hein.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive...
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the one...
Traveler, Paimon. Yes, I've also invited...
Huh? What the... We can talk to each other inside our head.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great. So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but perhaps today will be the day that he finds some... Well done. Smart and attentive as... So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well,
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin.
everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida.
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved. Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner
So,
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world.
wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can... Huh?
This light. It looks similar to those
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with...
Shh. Just...
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act...
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so?
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks...
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the... You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me. And now, every piece of ore here is smelted using the... Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is...
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But it...
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe... What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio. The yokai struck down.
You're well informed on this.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat?
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some—
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem—
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like you're planned to— I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smart. I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, it's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually they managed— And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one who can—
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet, you're—
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be—
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which— If you must
J'ai déjà vu
know,
cette
I'm
tête
happy to
écharpée,
divulge
mais
my
je sais pas
true
où.
identity. I'm a Fatui
The Fatui?
just to create a—
Oh putain, c'est encore
That's
lui.
it.
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with— My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. Make no mistake,
If you give him my heart, he has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human, Mr. Niwa? Already dead. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if...
Hey,
Dottore. Good.
was that the doctor? Did he turn into a But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must—
Maybe so.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the— You know very well what that means.
Let's give him some space.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
I'm still confused about the Tatarasuna incident.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon, so now you have the complete— It was all a horrific experiment of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment. The Balladeer after the events you just saw in that memory. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a curse. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the—
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned...
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Un moment plus tard.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since
Huh?
the reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, it might have something to do with Khaenri'ah. Apparently, Khaenri'ah was her first destination when she arrived. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded.
The heavens.
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Khaenri'ah, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up. Did you get all that?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself
J'ai
now.
pas le même tête, j'ai pas le même nom en tête.
Huh? What did...
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left, I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, so tell me, in this world, is it possible? Done.
Huh? What the... What happened?
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will those who died in Tatarasuna because of me.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't...
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things but if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily...
Balladeer!
Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now?
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to...
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though we're running out of time. Follow my lead and get...
We're out!
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb... I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think about... He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right! You can't... It's like... Imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn, even if no one was there to see... So... Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry, but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible? There's no way he'll... There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any idea? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But... So... Alright, Paimon will start. And Dre and Chili... Oh! Paimon was, talking? Huh. Is that a food?
Ah, il s'est effacé.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something... So, the Balladeer. Is that... Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but... Is everything okay?
Est-ce que si Scaramuccia est là, est-ce que ça va effacer une partie des événements qu'on a fait ici? Parce que, par exemple, on a rencontré Miko une fois empoisonné par Yoimiya, par Scaramuccia.
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't the once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. The art of forging practiced most of the great sword, but fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, if my memory serves me...
Oh, yeah, we were! We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too.
In fact, this was not made known to... He told me that, as there is no harm in telling you, the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage.
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it was the armory officer, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated, powerless, and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, finally, he made a drastic decision. To take in his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan. But when he came to the Kaedehara, that is why the Kaedehara clan and their...
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. My pleasure.
Don't tell Pine. On to the next step.
Alors, prochaine étape, qu'elle voit, c'est plus... Non. Il y a trop.
We're here.
Traveler! It's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato,
Are they out on...
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato...
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, what would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know.
So pretty much...
Very...
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn. I mean, whenever the Commissioner dines at home, Toma always... The Commissioner has such a... They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. They get to talking about you sometimes, too. Miss Kamisato occasion... It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. As someone who is old... So... In the future, if you ever do have the time, wonderful.
Paimon likes it. Paimon's itching to try it.
Of course.
All right, goodbye for now. Great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see.
All right.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep. Everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels.
Alors.
Well, here we are.
Do my eyes just...
Xavier, what are you doing?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in the...
We have some questions and thought you might be able...
Certainly do. I've researched... If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatars?
Oh, I didn't realize.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a Sure, go ahead. A kabuki? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure. Of course!
Donc, il a vraiment réussi à
Oh,
trafiquer
you're most
l'histoire, quoi.
farewell.
Mais après, il a trafiqué les souvenirs de l'histoire.
Sure, but
Mais
keep
est-ce que
your
l'histoire
smile,
en elle-même a
Final.
été
Come
changée
on.
vraiment, quoi.
Alright.
Je pense pas qu'il a interagi avec l'histoire lui-même, parce que sinon il y aurait peut-être, je sais pas, genre peut-être Arasuna serait peut-être encore présente sur la map. On va profiter pour prendre ça. Et on est là. Alors.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment,
We have time. What?
the same topic we discussed.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh?
I presume you'll want to.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how
What did you find out?
it's a long story. Basically,
Wow, so many.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the army? Ugh.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently,
Yes, okay, point.
and they're back at it.
Oh, so
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop of.
Will do.
Et c'est comme ça qu'il est devenu nomade et plus Scaramuccia en fait. Ça veut vraiment dire. Je connais toujours pas pourquoi est-ce qu'on a nomade et Scaramuccia. Et on m'a déjà spoilé en disant que c'était la même personne en un truc comme ça quoi.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole—
The Balati. You look troubled. Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so
So, this puppet known as the Balladeer,
But how is he?
as the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it. Nevertheless, it does make sense.
So you?
Yes. The traveler comes from. So if there's anyone in the world,
Paimon's having a hard time.
I can only make inferences. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the ballad, he couldn't keep hit. The story makes the Balladeer that power then.
Yeah, it just feels so.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is.
Hold on. So the.
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer, changing the information in Irminsul, but Irminsul can't.
That's incredible!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is but if we connect. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night. But the monster soon
Ouais, c'est
found
comme
the kitten
le
too
loup
wished to
déguisé en
become a
agneau,
fox.
quoi.
Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beast.
C'est d'autoré
The
avec
monster
Nami.
gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed." The
Et ça, c'est
fire
carrément
was
ça.
extinguished, but the kitten lived. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If I will become the new moon, the answer to everything, then no one will know that there were one.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the bat to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical.
It's hard to believe that this Paimon has no memory of him at all.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the before he vanished. We still don't know how to change the Irminsul.
It sounds like Paimon.
This is why wisdom. So the answer is when you give
Oh,
someone
c'est
to
bon,
others
t'as fini ton
looking up,
côté là.
never
Mais
forget.
là,
And that is what you.
Yeah, Nihita's
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk?
You got it! Come on! Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure! It must be really tough.
Mhm.
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can... What is it? Have you figured it? Why'd you jump up all of a...
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small
Normal.
problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsetia. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? The work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many to...
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promise...
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is...
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First...
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay...
Et donc, c'est carrément check devenu nomade. Même son caractère a l'air d'avoir changé, donc c'est vrai que c'est étonnant.
Yeah.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them. Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can...
He's spotted.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be... have we met No, we haven't met. But I have no recollection.
Are you
Sorry, but I just can't take your word.
a puppet?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his...
I guess you do know me after all. Look, I'm just a wanderer. Okay, but...
Are you really working?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart.
That's oddly nice.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return...
Bon, en fait, il a effacé, mais il a effacé ses propres souvenirs.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went and picked...
Something's come up, and they need a...
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the... But look, it was pouring down, and there you... Imagine you... But anyway, take it...
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters.
Thank you. All right, done.
Our bond is strong. Nahida!
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do apologize.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe...
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a... But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to...
I wouldn't call it the past. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often.
Oh, like a past life?
Yes. Something...
Okay, I have to ask. Oh, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be, but I'll be able to handle it. Please.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous, you nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence,
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember—
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes,
Please, I want to see them for myself.
even though it will cause your presence.
I'm just a puppet, with no heart.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't—
Don't worry, whatever danger I might...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him?
Oh, good point. Given your,
Understood.
Oh, je viens de sursauter. Aïe, normalement c'est le donjon, il aura fini cette genèse.
This looks like Ina's—
Right now, you're in a these memories.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to
Je
do
sais pas
this
ce
for
qu'il vaut comme
me.
perso, n'hésitez pas à me dire dans les
Never give
commentaires.
up
hein.
halfway.
All right.
Wanderer,
Is that because this is—
you could say.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide. No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work. There's someone... You're awake. What? Not a scratch.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa.
And the rest is history.
In the original version...
Let me get you out of here. Our people...
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command, but Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born?
I was abandoned, like you.
Okay, I heard my mom and dad. He kept coughing all the...
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup. Oh, this child didn't after his mother died. After leaving to...
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer...
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family!
The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
Là, c'est l'équivalent du tuto pour le chat, quoi.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
This one's got your name on it!
No excuse for something can't block my work.
Looks like I went too far.
Il y a une navette, le moins de tickets peut être intéressant.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this
in the original version of events.
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools...
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use.
What a sharp... Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feeling...
Save your breath.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible.
Surely you're not.
I just can't have you get...
I'm merely lighting... Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden look at you. Oh, by then, see you at the victory feast.
poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me. Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare.
The plot does not end here.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project.
Welcome.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that
the biological
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then,
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was Alas, after that.
That was gracefully.
I suggest.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister.
It's normal for him.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yeah.
In your eyes? Are there any...
Do you think there are whoever has...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim, no matter the consequences. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. With each person as a puppet living...
Regaining your memory, are you sure?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just dripped, but then I met you. And I finally... I've always felt I have, so I beg you.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way! Hey! Are you done yet?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
lame de vent. Ça s'envole.
At my command, you shall fall. Squall and Fury. Insignificant pest. Cry louder. The wind rises. My endless cycle begins! Quit following! Squall and Fury! Feeble human! Insignificant pest! Imbecile! Get up!
It disappeared.
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely wait, but it was you inside that.
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the... You sound... But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing...
The memory recovered.
Come on.
Pas de coffre. Pas de coffre.
Welcome back, Trev. You don't like being a...
It's fine. After learning about it, I'm not planning on...
So, you're quitting the fatigue?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali.
But that doesn't mean...
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope changing the world... What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing the...
Even if I'm completely... Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul.
Yes.
Why would you go to...
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part... But before that...
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's...
Utility to others is what gives me... Oh, right. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fate...
I'm glad you're able, Traveler, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened? I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, so that's how you found out who... Well, whatever your reason, borrowing and returning are the only real relation...
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be... I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops, and some things in this... Everything that you feel is... To be human is to live with imperfections.
But humans can't...
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a... The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out.
Everything's ended up...
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to sell?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because...
Then I hope we don't see much.
A name is life's first gift. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name...
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a suit...
Un nomade. Bon, mais je laisse nomade parce que comme ça, moi...
Are you
je t'en
sure?
parle, quoi.
Oh.
There.
What about a nickname? Take your time. Everyone who manipulated me,
You mean
the doctor.
now that you're stand...
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being, even though the events...
I see. Huh?
It's fine. What's that look for? That day will... Alright. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone!
What he went through today would have been like...
Yeah, true. But even so we can finally...
Thank you both.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from...
You mean
Yeah! I heard the dark cloud. Then, one night, all these express... life!
Dis-moi que la quête est finie.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and... Wow! Huh? Look at the vid. Did someone break it?
You sound lost. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew...
Huh? Is it...
Unfortunately, the fate of Teyvat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance when a small animal runs like a vase that falls to the ground.
Who are you?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voice is dis... And who the heck was that? It feels wrong just...
Ah, voilà. Et donc, on n'a plus de genèse du tout. Il nous rattrape l'histoire principale. Bon voilà, bah, j'espère que ça t'a plu et je vous dis bien à la prochaine, c'était Fenrir. Tu vois les comment.
Surtout partagez, likez et oubliez.